Does free will exist? What view do we get onto this question when we understand the Buddhist perspective? The Buddha supposedly said, "There is free action, there is retribution, but I see no agent that passes out of one set of momentary elements into another one, except the connection of those elements." In this video, we are going to unpack this statement and explore how we can maybe get an insight into this subject for ourselves through the teachings of Buddhism. To begin the topic, let's start with a simple definition of free will. For the purpose of this exploration, we will define free will as the power truly of our own, independent from causal determinants. In order to thoroughly understand the Buddhist philosophy, we first have to get clear on the worldview we ourselves bring to the table. And the first relevant difference to note between Western and Eastern philosophy is the prevalence of this question of free will. Eastern philosophies are much more concerned with the absolute spiritual freedom instead of the individual free will. Whereas in the West, this understanding is mostly non-existent, and the issue of free will is looked at from the individual's perspective. The next important insight into the matter can be gained by exploring the question why the Buddha finds that the question of free will is a non-issue. First, we need to understand that our Western worldview artificially creates the division of inner and outer experience. That this division is in fact a self-created illusion is not easily apparent to the Western mind. Typically, a couple of years of meditative practice or some sudden shift in perspective is acquired in order to fully grasp this fact. This perceived division in the Westerner's mind determines that the inner thinking mind is the agent that is here questioned to have free will or not. The conflict arises because we perceive a sense of agency and freedom on the inside, while the outside seems to follow causality. Even though you might perceive things to be apparently so, this is actually a philosophical viewpoint with the history behind it. Descartes' meditations with the popular conclusion "cogito ergo sum," I think, therefore I am, gave rise to the idea what it means to be a subject. Since then, we only perceive ourselves, the thinking human, to be the subject. Everything else, including persons, have now become objects of our thought. Free will is also not a neutral idea in our minds. We perceive free will to be something good or valuable. Its loss therefore seems undesirable. This is contrary to the Buddhist view. The Buddhist chooses meditation and other spiritual practices to ultimately achieve nirvana, a state of freedom from any preference. The Buddhist author Sengtan put it this way: "The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. When love and hate are both absent, everything becomes clear and undisguised. Make the smallest distinction, however, and heaven and earth are set infinitely apart. If you wish to see the truth, then hold no opinion for or against. The struggle of what one likes and what one dislikes is the disease of the mind." The idea of free will and wanting for things to be different is directly linked to the craving mind, which creates suffering. Buddhism therefore embraces a deterministic view in which every effect, without exception, has a cause. The idea of an independent entity with free will violates the Buddhist principle of interdependent co-origination. Nothing in the universe can originate itself as substances allegedly do or the will is said to do. From our perspective, it seems as if causality is linear, meaning that one event causes another event connected in time. The Buddhist, on the other hand, views causality as a cosmic web, transcending physicality, time and space. For the Buddha, free will does not explicitly exist or not exist, but he recognizes the desire for a self-determining and independent self as the deepest and most subtle craving of the mind. This is exactly contrary to what European philosophers assumed to be essential for true human freedom. It is supreme irony that what European philosophers assumed is necessary for true human freedom is actually the cause of its greatest bondage, write Nicholas F. Geer and Paul Kjellberg in their essay Buddhism and the Freedom of Will. To conclude, we can say that the Buddhist view answers the question of free will on a meta level. And it says that there is not even an agent that could have free will in the first place. This is a very relevant distinction because it also eliminates the element of suffering. When the mind breaks free from illusion of being a separate self, resistance to what is happening is eliminated. Freedom or free will is found in the elimination of its possibility. In the next video, we are going to explore how this view influences our idea of morality and responsibility. If you are interested in the discovery of no self, I wanted to make you aware of the upcoming online retreat, which could be of interest to you. During this 3-day weekend retreat, we are going to explore the practice of mindfulness to facilitate insight into the true nature of existence. For more information on that, you can follow the link in the description. Thank you for watching.